Now it's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you. It's time for the Jesse T Show. We are live in person in the studio right here near the beautiful Pacific Ocean. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. We had a great rainstorm for a little while. It's going to rain this weekend, but right now the weather is living right. Man, this is what paradise is all about, except there's just too many people living in paradise. Yes, please don't come here. Please don't come here. If you're listening to us across this great nation we call God Bless America, don't come to California. There's nothing for it for you. They don't want you. We don't want you. No, we're going to put a wall up around California. We're going to keep you illegal aliens out from California, ones from Arizona and New Jersey and Illinois. That's right. Yeah, well, you know, that's at least what I'm trying to do. It just drives me crazy, this traffic. But it was a good day today, and it's good to have you along with me, Jesse T. On Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. We're also out on Instagram Live at Jesse Terrero. And a YouTube channel, Jesse Terrero. Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and The Power of Voices at www.thepowerofvoices.com. And to the right of me, a man that has been on this program before, good pal of mine, very, very funny guy. He performs at the Comedy Store on a regular basis and other places, and also he's an actor and a stuntman and a praying mantis sensei. Actually, I should say Sifu, that is, because it's Chinese. And he also is a producer. And I want to talk about Big Ham's hands or whatever that guy is. We got to talk about that. He's going to correct me on this. This is some funny stuff. But anyhow, I'd like to introduce Mark Hoadley, baby. Yahoo!
Hey, Jesse T. Thank you, sir. Got you, buddy.
That's right, baby.
We're here.
Yeah, man. We see each other all about and everywhere and all around.
That's true.
It's been a couple of years since you've been here on the show.
That's right.
And I know you've been busy as all get out, man. I mean, that is, congratulations to you. Every time I see you, you got something new going on.
Well, you have to, brother. You have to.
I mean, you were just kind of breaking into the Comedy Store last time you were here. You were already doing stand-up comedy, but I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was one of the first occasions that you were going to be performing at the Comedy Store a couple of years ago.
Wow, you're absolutely. I've been doing it 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So you're probably absolutely right. It was, it probably fell right about that time frame.
About that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, that's got to be nerving to be, well, first off, it's nerving to be a comedian. I did stand-up comedy for a couple of years just to do it, not to say that I was real funny, but I got real fast at dodging tomatoes. Dodgeball, I was really good at, and dodging tomatoes, that's right. And running out the back door when they hated you real fast. Give me my $25, maybe, right?
Oh, it's something. I'll tell you what, you almost start panicking inside if a minute goes by and you don't hear a laugh.
Oh,
it is. Then you start messing with your own head.
It's the craziest feeling, isn't it?
It is. And I mean, the biggest thing is just walking out on that stage.
Yeah.
Just having the guts to get out there and stand up. Because as a stand-up comedian, there are no props, there's no guitar, there's no actor you could bounce the scene off of. It's you, baby, and you're carrying it. And
yeah, and a minute for a lot of people, they think about a minute and it doesn't seem to be too long for them, a minute. But if you go in front of your bathroom and just stand up and look at yourself in the mirror and put a little alarm clock on your phone, right? And stand there and look at yourself for 1 minute. Then you really get to experience how long a minute, 60 seconds, really is.
Well said. Oh my God, that is so correct, because my first show was like 3.5 minutes. Serious. Right. My first time on stage.
Sure.
3.5 minutes. And I thought, this is nothing. Everybody, 3.5 minutes. I'm telling you, get out there, and it seemed like a lifetime.
Yeah.
3.5 minutes, just right there.
Yeah, because all eyes are on you. But the most important thing, you said it earlier already, you are on yourself, because your brain this tape recorder starts going, or I should say this recording tape recorder. People won't even know what that's about anymore. But this recording starts going off in your head. man. Oh man! Oh, I don't know. And it just goes on and on, right?
It does. It's a never-ending loop.
Yeah.
And and it's gauging the audience and knowing your audience too, because that's going to dictate what type of material you're going to select.
Yeah, when you're first starting out, though, you don't have a lot of material generally. When guys are starting out, it takes years to, people say, how did Richard Pryor, how did Paul Mooney, how did Red Fox, how did Cat Williams, how did DeGeneres, how did all the great stand-up comedians, and they just, the greatest of them all, George Carlin, in terms of social stand-up, Lenny Bruce. How come they can talk about anything, anywhere, anytime, at any audience, in any arena? How do they have it? Because they've amassed so much material.
That's correct. It's just the time you spend up there, and what the material you're selecting. A lot of the material I thought would work in the past, I thought I'd never use it again,
right?
Because it was just so damn awful. Right. I mean, it really was.
Yeah.
And but it's every time. That's what I tried to do is I invite a lot of the same people to my shows. My friends come see my show. I'm doing another show here, but I will not do the same show if I have the same people coming to it. So I want to change it up. I want to do some material. And a lot of these comics, they'll be doing 7-10 minutes, something like that, but they'll do the same material week after week after week. And then I look out and I see people that they're inviting in, and it's like, well, that's not really fair to my perspective.
Right.
It's not really fair to the people that you're bringing in here, because they saw your act last time, same act,
Yeah.
So I tried to change it up.
And that's just a matter of continuing writing all the time. Comedians do a lot of writing.
I do. I have paper. I understand that.
But I want to know: is it the back of matchbook covers? Is it the back of napkins, or is it the back of female attire? Where does the writing take place?
You know what? It's all on. It's whenever I have a thought.
Yes.
Whatever I could reach to write on. If I have a pen handy, and it's. I mean, I'll write it on the back of a girl's ass.
I was going to say, I can see that. That's exactly what came into my head. You're having romantics. We got Valentine's Day coming up, and you're wooing some lady, and you're having romantic times, and all of a sudden you get a joke, and you got to go find that Sharpie, and it goes on the back of her butt, right? What are you doing, honey? Oh, baby, I'm just having fun, right? Yeah. That's terrible. Is that really much?
We're in trouble for that one.
I'm always in trouble. I always get in trouble. Saying hi to Jay Ford, saying hi to Kelsey Lee, who has us on, saying hi to John Pavlenko, who has us on. Thanks a lot for checking in, guys. And James Valentino, I like that name. You like the Italian slick back haircut, the Goomba cut, I call it? The Goomba cut today? Yeah, man, I look like a Jersey reject. That's what I look like. And saying hi to Louis, who has us on, and Damalia, and the list is growing. And we're here on the Jesse T Show with Mark Hoadley. So comedy, was that something that you always wanted to do, or were you something that you led yourself to it, or how does a comedian become, how does somebody want to stand up on stage and just put themselves naked up there? How do you come to that?
Well, with me, I was always a fan of comedians. I mean, going back to the old guys. You mentioned Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison.
Oh, man.
All these old guys. And I used to go watch comedy shows, and I still do. Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. Right. They have great comedians there. So, I was always a fan in that aspect. But then, being an actor,
right.
And, things get slow, and, most actors are unemployed anyway. Right. So it's like, I have to reinvent myself here. So basically, that's what it was. It's just doing a little reinventing of myself to where that would actually help me in film, television, and do the stand-up, because it's all entertainment.
It seems like a lot of producers, and you're a producer too, we'll talk about that, but it seems like a lot of producers and casting people, they love comedians in the roles that they cast. Why is that?
It's, it's hard to answer. I mean,
it doesn't necessarily have to be a comedy either. It could be a drama.
Yeah, I mean, some of these are just their favorite entertainers.
Right.
And they just want their favorite entertainers involved in that project. I mean, there's a lot of people that are my favorites. I'd certainly want to get them involved in a project. But, you know, it still comes down to the right person, you know, for the project. I mean, it's if I'm doing a martial arts film or something like that, you know, I'm not going to reach out to my funniest friends and say, you know, come on in and do this.
But like let's talk about Robin Williams for a second. And you know, when everybody knew him for his erratic Mork and Mindy, that's where he kind of broke on to the national scene and the world scene. But prior to that, he was a stand-up comic doing basically Mork. You know, he was basically doing that kind of avant-garde, off-the-wall, multi-personality characterizations, coming fast, rapid-fire kind of high-energy comedy. Got cast as Mork and Mindy, but then all of a sudden we see him in a great film, Garp, right?
Yeah, World According to Garp. Wasn't?
Yeah, World According to Garp. Yeah, was that it? Yeah, that was it.
I think so.
But anyway, we see him in this dramatic role, and it's like, man, you never thought that guy could do that. And it seems like a lot of successful comedians have the opportunity to cross over and do those roles. I think it has to do with timing. I think it has to do with the improvisation of a person's emotions when you're on stage.
Yeah. I would concur with that. And one thing about Robin Williams, I mean, he was,
he was a genius.
He was just, he was a genius. I mean, and the guy was so quick on his feet. It's probably all that coke used to do, you know, when he was on stage.
You know, there's no doubt about that.
That kept him moving rapidly. But yeah, I mean, from watching him in the comedies that he did, and then, you know, I mean, Good Will Hunting, and I mean, he
plays that inner role, Good Will Hunting. I mean, you know, this was a violent man who had a lot of anger in him about his wife and in Vietnam and all this, and he sucked it all into himself, and you only got a chance to see that window come out a few times in the film, and it was dangerous. It was a great role.
Yeah, pretty amazing, huh?
Pretty amazing.
Yes.
But that's a comic, as a stand-up comic.
Absolutely.
I really think that comedians over the history of entertainment, that's a great place to become a really quality actor. It's sort of like one of the best places to go study.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and you know who else did the crossover was Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison.
I think when he got killed in that car accident, he had that series.
He had it going.
Right. He just got into that
Sam
series.
Kinison.
Oh, he was off the hook crazy, but let me tell you, he got on that stage and he ruled that stage. Buddy. It was like
talk about that when you're on stage and you get some crazy audience members who are just not right for the night, and you know they just got an attitude. How do you deal with that, man? Well, tell me some experiences about that. How do you deal with it?
Well, I had this one girl. There were two of them, and they were sitting right in the front row. Okay, whether just asking for it,
right?
But
don't ever sit in the front row at a comedy show, man. You're in trouble.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You're going to be pulled in. So hang on for the ride. But she didn't like some of the jokes. I mean, everybody's so politically correct now. It just chaps my. Oh my God! Yes, yes. I mean, and there's some subjects that used to be able to implement in comedy. Now you can't even touch that subject.
I mean, when you're performing at a place like the Comedy Store, do they give you a set of rules of things that you can't say?
No. But I'll tell you this, the audience will let you know whether they approve of what you're saying or not.
And the audiences are so politically correct now.
Yeah, a lot of them are. And then the other comics, though, I just don't want to, you know, I've noticed this mostly female comics.
Right.
They're, you know, you can't touch anything about, you know, I mean, sex. You get into some sexual,
but not like
topics.
Before,
but no, not like before.
Like 15, 20 years ago.
No, not even close.
Richard Pryor couldn't be Richard Pryor.
I mean, no, they wouldn't have made it the way they did comedy today.
Yeah,
because it's changed so much. Yeah. I mean, I had this girl in the front row. and all I heard her doing was, tss, and then she'd fold her arms like
God.
this, and it was throwing me off, and I just like, well, you know, these are just jokes,
Right.
lady.
Right.
You just got to think about it, okay? I'm just up here and I'm just telling jokes. I'm just
Right.
telling stories that are funny, okay?
right.
And just try to roll with me here.
And I happen to know where you live, and I'll be in your bathtub tonight, baby. Thank you very much. That's what Jesse T would do. You know, and I think I'd probably be booed off the stage or something. I don't know about that. But yeah, I would imagine the political intrigue and the temperament of our nation today does limit you on what you can and cannot say. I mean, like, for instance, and we won't get political here, though everybody knows I'm a Trumper. I voted for Trump, and I believe in his cause. He's my New York gangster president. I love him, and that's why I voted for the gangster, because I figured he could out-gangster all the rest of the gangsters that have been there for a while. But, you know, all those ladies dressed in white with the suffrage of the 1920s, the act for females and women to vote, right on, but they all dressed in white. I understand the solidarity of it all, but that was ripe for humor.
Yeah.
That was absolutely ripe, juicy ripe, hanging from the tree, low fruit for humor.
Oh, I could think of some funny stuff on that right now.
Me too.
I mean, it just comes so easy.
Yeah, it's just ripe for humor. I mean, and so when you look at topics that are today, do you worry too much about the political correctness, or in relationship to your career and building the career that you're building?
Well, I think nowadays you have to be aware of the political correctness to build that career that you're striving for.
Right.
Because if you get, I'll give you an example. I shot a television commercial. It's running now. Yeah. And I asked the producer, I said, can you get me a link to this in case I, want the commercial and put it on my tape?
Right.
And she said, yeah, I'll get you a link, whatever you need. And I said, that is great. You are so sweet. I wrote that to her with an exclamation point.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God, that was it. I knew the makeup artist. The girl worked as a makeup artist, but that producer would not give me anything. She would not return my calls, would not return my emails, would not just do anything to make sure I had a copy of this. And I got to talking with the makeup artist, and I said, what's going on?
What did you do
And
wrong?
she goes, you should have never said she was sweet. It's like, I'm from Ohio. Come on. That is like, you're sweet. Oh, hon. All these little pet. I mean, they're just.
Oh, man.
I meant nothing by it, but it got so out of control, the political correctness with her, that it was like I was the worst guy in the world.
Man, that's wild, man.
It was crazy.
If they would have caught me in the 1980s, man, I would be gay. because man, the shenanigans I pulled in the 80s in this town, being on the radio and running a record company.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I would be gay because no woman would have sex with me. Well, I wouldn't be gay either, so I guess I'd have to join the church. Oh, no, then I'd be a Catholic deviant pervert. So I'd be like messed up, man. I would be messed up. God almighty. Lord help me. But I guess so. I do that too. I sometimes when I'm responding to emails, thanks for having me there, thanks for having us out, thanks for coming in, whatever. I'm very cautious on the language that I use when I speak to women through email or text or letter. Well, once in a while I'll send a letter to freak somebody out, But yeah, you have to be very cautious on the words that you put together today.
Well, as am I. However, I certainly did not think just saying someone was sweet would trigger that kind of a response or non-response.
That's gone too far.
Yeah, that was.
Hey,
just...
look at Sevis Sweet is trying to go live with us. We can't do that for you right now, brother. But thanks all for watching. Lorene Landon's got us on. Oh. Hey, Lorene, what's happening? Ruben Martinez, and the list keeps on growing, baby.
There we go.
That's right. It's sort of like that old joke, the lady and her husband, the man, passes away. And just before he passed away, he decided he wanted to have one great last night with his wife, but he didn't know it was going to be his last night, of course. And so, he took a half a bottle of Viagra, and they had a problem in burying the guy because the casket wouldn't shut.
Okay. All right, you just keep working on those.
Yes, okay. Oh, thanks, man. See, I had to run one joke past a comedian, right, just to see if I could do it, right? Yes, you keep working on those, man. I think you'd get booed off the stage. Okay, man. I'll run a flag up the post. Thank you very much, right? Yeah, anyway. But, so comedy is a great stepping stone, I think, and it teaches you a lot. But you were an actor and a stunt guy first. You're a praying mantis, Sifu.
That's correct.
I mean,
I made rank of Sifu in 2002.
If you know anything about martial arts, praying mantis is one of the hardest forms of kung fu to master because your body is in such different situations that it's normally not accustomed to, and your movement is different, and it's a very precise sort of fighting style because in that style you have to be precise because it mimics the praying mantis in a lot of ways.
Well, absolutely. So,
why praying mantis?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, as a kid growing up in Ohio, I grew up, watching the Kung Fu series.
Yeah.
I grew up with watching the Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah.
Now, David Carradine was taught by my grandmaster, and then one of my Kung Fu brothers. Well, he's like a Sifu to me also, not my Sifu that I studied under for all the years, but
he's like a Sisuk.
Well, yeah. But he was blood brothers with my Sifu, and he and David were very, very close. But David was learning some of the mantis. Of course, he did a lot of Tai Chi, and a lot of it was just fudged,
And a lot of it, he was wasted because he used to live in La Tuna Canyon when I was 12 and 13 years old, and Kung Fu was on. David Carradine, love his soul, love his daughters, love his family. But I'll tell you, he would come down from the 30-acre site he had in La Tuna Canyon, and he always had the finest chicks. And we young teenagers knew when David walked out on the street going to Bud's Donuts, he was wasted and high, and so were the girls, and they were half naked. So we always were standing right there waiting for him. And he was kung fu in the trees. He was kung fu and everything, man. Dave, but anyway, that's one of my many stories of David Carradine.
Well, back to time mantis kung fu is my system. A good praying mantis, a good time mantis practitioner should have a solid 3 years of Northern Shaolin under his belt.
Really?
Prior to mantis. Mantis is very advanced. I studied, which was a combination of Northern Shaolin and Thai mantis. It turned out that when I moved to California, just 3 blocks from where I lived, there was Thai mantis school.
There aren't a lot of Thai mantis places to learn.
No, there are not. Yeah. And the ones that are out there, we know of all the ones that are legit.
Right.
And it's a lot of people, I studied praying mantis, it's like, it goes in one ear and out the other. I mean, you could get a black belt in, some Taekwondo, obscure Taekwondo school, maybe, in 2 years, 3 years.
You can.
More like 8-10 years,
Well, Wing Chun.
Northern Shaolin and Thai mantis.
I studied Wing Chun for a good 25 plus years now.
Yeah.
In my system, we don't have any certificates or belts or anything. When I went through, it was my Sifu Gary Lam, and now he does because it's commercialized more now. But the first 10 years when he came from Hong Kong, man, it was old school in the backyard. Kicking trees, busting oranges and walnuts with your long pole, and just doing things the old G kind of way, the way they learned in China and
Right.
Hong Kong at the time.
Well, I mean, you could thank Americans for the belt system.
Yeah.
Because it's in traditional kung fu, there are no belts.
No, there's no
what
belts.
What it was is how the black belt journey came about is you got a white belt and you kept that white belt for so long it turned gray and then turned black because of the age and the time and effort that you put into it.
Yeah,
So there you go. There's your black belt.
yes, they didn't have any Clorox bleach.
No, they did not. Well, here in America, you know, I want results. Come on, you know.
it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, and oh, well, here's your belt. But now we're going to test you for another degree.
Oh,
and so
it's
that's going to be another $400.
It's a freaking mystery degree.
It's like-
That's right. I just made it up while I was taking a crap on the toilet last night. It's called the crapola move.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Yeah.
So, you know, you have
seriously,
your
right.
belts and then you get your degrees but that's all America.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. So praying mantis is a tough form to learn, but you mastered it. And now you're a master. You're a seafood. Seafood in Chinese means teacher. So
Very good.
You're a teacher.
Yes.
Buddy, I've been around.
I know.
You know,
I got you, bro.
I've been around way too much. I'm wore out. That's what I am. I'm just plain wore out. Well, not wore out enough.
But
Okay.
it's a great art. I mean, it's
Did
just-
that help you in starting your stunt career?
Yeah, of course. Well, you know, I studied judo back
did?
in the 70s at YMCA in
Oh,
Ohio.
Man. YMCAA and YMCAA. I didn't know all those guys were gay till I went to the Greek theater.
Oh, well, I had no idea when I was growing up
And,
either.
and all of a sudden, I'm with Mama T, and all of a sudden, I had to go to the bathroom, and the line at the bathroom, the heads, the man's line was down the corner. You know, in all those places, usually the ladies' line is down the corner, right?
Right.
So I just said, forget it. I'm not waiting in line. I went to the women's room. I came out, and all the guys clapped for me, right? And I went, yeah. I got back with the sodas and whatever and sat with Mama T. And I said, I told her what happened. She goes, and then I started looking around, and I said, Mama T is my girl, my wife. Mama T, of course, she was younger then. She wasn't Mama T yet.
Yeah.
But I said, there's nothing but guys here. Are there any women here? She looks around. She goes, no, there's no women here. I said, so I tapped the guy right next to me. I said, there's nothing but guys here. He goes, yeah. They're gay. And I went, they're gay. What? So I tapped him again. I said, are you gay? And he says, yes, I am. And
No way.
everybody around me was gay. And that's the crazy thing about it. It was funny as all get out because we had a great time, but I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. Anyway, I don't know where that came from, but tell me. So YMCA Judo, we got someone on the line?
Got a question about the speech last night.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, real quick. Who's this?
Real quick, gentlemen. I'm basically True Power's Mind from the other morning show. I just wanted to real quick get your opinion about President Trump's speech last night. I thought it was incredibly unifying and something our country needs to get over this bit of divide we have right now.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'll answer that real quick, but I can't spend a lot of time on that because I got Mark Hoadley in here with me, and we're talking a whole bunch of crazy fun stuff. But I thought it was the greatest speech I've ever seen and heard since Ronald Reagan. I thought it was a unifying speech, and I was disappointed that more people didn't get up and applaud the unifying things of, safety, health, happiness, strong military, helping people protect their families. It was that kind of speech, and I felt it was just terrific. I'll get into that more at another time, but that was my overall take on it.
Oh, I appreciate it. And by the way, to your guest, I just want to take my hat off to you, sir. I know being a martial arts student is very disciplined, and I salute you for having the guts and carrying on all the way through.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thanks all for calling, brother. Appreciate it. So, the key is when you got the judo and got the praying mantis, that must have helped you in stunts.
It did. And that's the thing. I learned how to fall when I was, I was young taking judo.
Right.
And which put me into my Sifu's Fall Guy. It was me and my Kung Fu brother Sifu Ford Edwards. And we were the Fall Guys.
You were the dummy. You were the dummy. I was the dummy.
I tell you.
When you get to be a senior student, you get to be the dummy.
But here's the deal. I knew how to fall. There were no pads at all. We fell on an elevated hardwood floor with bounce. That's what we trained on. And we don't take our shoes off when we train. We wear, Kung Fu sneaker type shoes.
Yes.
And
dude, we were in the backyard on cement and dirt.
Yeah.
with whatever you wore. Whatever you came in. Yeah, man. So you learned how to fall. So that
yeah. So that did help me in the stunt world. And well, I did a lot of my own fight scenes and things like that.
Right.
But. I never really wanted to focus exclusively like I want to get work as a stuntman all the time. Right. That's not, because, although I'm talented and I can do stunts, I love to be the star, the guy in the front.
Course,
I love to deliver the goods as far as my acting ability, not just my stunt abilities.
Well, those beautiful blue eyes.
No, geez, flattery will get you everywhere.
Well, give me $20.
Yeah, no, we'll get you that.
I'm trying. I'm always trying. Hey, Massimiliano Cerce, a great director.
I love Max. He is an awesome guy.
He's checking in with us. He says, hello, guys. What's happening? Hello, he says.
Yeah.
We make some great movies. Hey, he says hi to you and my friend Mark. And, he makes that boy right there. And, man, he pumps out. He stays on budget. He saves his producers money, and all his films make money.
That's right. I've had several meetings with Max. We've had some lunch meetings, and I like the way he operates.
He's fast, efficient, bang, bang, bang. He kind of, that's the way it should go. As an actor, you must have some crazy stories as an actor. I mean, what are some of the wild things that have happened to you on set with all your talents?
Well, there's been quite a few different things that's happened.
Tell me one.
I don't know how deep I can get on
this. You can get deep.
But one, was with...
Jesse T Show. You can say whatever you want.
I did this movie back in the late 90s, and it was for a Korean company. It was called Fire in My Heart. So I played this businessman, all right? And I'm there in my office, and then at nighttime... I have this beautiful woman come in, and we're going, and we're going. But wait
a minute, stop right there. Does it really happen on the set? Sometimes you stand in the grocery line, you see the Inquirer, the front page of the Inquirer. Even today, they said these are the actors that actually had sex on the set during their love scene. Does it really happen?
I didn't have sex, but I'll tell you what. She wanted to go. We went into the women's restroom and rehearsed our scene for an hour.
Wait a second.
And
and I'm sure nothing of interest popped up.
Yeah, we'll say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man.
But it was awesome. Yeah. She was so beautiful, and. I said, well, you really dig me, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, no. You were swayed by the acting moment. Oh, that's right. Yes, I remember when that would happen.
And but she had to get actually nude in this scene.
Oh.
And so they offered her a $200 bump to get completely nude because she had to do topless. Right. But then when she turned around, or she was like laying on her back, and then and her legs just come up like that, and it's all, you heard all the crew say, "No, it's not that.
It's not that kind of film." That's right. It's not.
But she was just adjusting herself and moving.
It's not Debbie Does Dallas, right?
But I'll tell you, that was one. I mean, when she said we should go in and rehearse this, that was like, wow. Yeah, right, like my lucky
fantasy
day.
Come true, right? When you're sitting at home as a kid and watching these movies, these beautiful girls, man, you go, man, they must have the high life, right? They have the great life there as an actor. But those are the kind of the fun moments that happen, and there's lots of stuff and that happens on a set that that actors go through. Directors are some are little Nazis, and some of them are just so cool, like Max. Cool.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, and some of them are just ride you for every little thing. Hey, your collar's not right. Hey, you got to stand here. Hey, the lights are. You know, some of them are like, and you know, sometimes you probably just want to go.
Yeah, but it's like that would never work again.
Yes, that's right. That's very true. Absolutely. Do you like action movies, or it doesn't matter?
You know, I like a good film.
Yeah.
You know, I like action. I certainly have a place in my heart for action, but I love comedies. Yeah. I love sci-fi and horrors. I just did a sci-fi film as executive producer on.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of producing.
Yeah, it'll be out in May.
Okay.
And it's I tell you a little bit about this film?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it's called Xenophobia. And I work with a great group of guys.
Xenophobia.
Yeah, I work with Steven Escobar. He directed an episode, and then Joe Castro was the special effects. He's such a talented man.
He's
just top notch.
Yeah, he's great.
And then director Thomas Churchill.
TJ, baby, Sir Thomas Churchill.
Yeah, so what it is it's 3 30-minute films, kind of like Tales of the Crypt or a Creep Show.
Right.
And it's all about alien abduction, but they're 3 30-minute short films all intertwined for a 90-minute feature.
So each film has a different character, a different star, and they're telling their story.
That is correct.
Okay,
but then there's one individual that, I don't want to give away too much on this, but there's one individual that is in all 3. It ties everything together.
There's a tie.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so I was the star in the last episode called The Sullivan House. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I'll tell you,
it's an abduction. Do you believe in aliens?
I do.
Extraterrestrials?
How arrogant are we to say we are the only living beings in this big universe that never ends?
Ever since I saw the first run of Star Trek in the 1960s, and those girls that were all green and all blue, that was it for me, man. Yeah. I believe in it. Please! Let some blue-girled alien pick me up, please. Some green-girled alien.
And you bet Captain Kirk was making out with all of them.
Captain Kirk was a 23rd century gigolo.
Yeah.
That's all he was, right?
But this film, the episode The Sullivan House, it was me and 5 women, basically, you know, and I'm not going to give the plot away because it'll be released in June, and I want everybody to come to the premiere here in L.A. If you're in L.A., come to the premiere.
Okay.
It's really going to be awesome. I know you'll be there.
Yeah.
But it was like I was.
I'll be there to collect my $20.
Good luck on that. Let me know how that works out for you.
Well, you're the producer, for God's sakes. God almighty.
But let's just say I was bound by these women, and they wanted to teach me a lesson. And getting back to your question, I do believe in aliens. You know, and I mean, I look on YouTube like everyone else, and look at this and that and unexplained. And
I know a lot of aliens who've come over our border.
Yes. Well, you were touching upon that in the beginning.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's why we need to build a big wall.
Yeah,
that's right. And if they can jump, we have to build it higher.
Yeah.
Okay, no politics. Thank you very much. Yes, sorry. Yes.
But I am looking forward to that coming out. That was just a ball of fun to work on.
You got distribution yet? You
yeah.
That's great.
Actually, I went with the other producers to the AFM. Yeah. And, I'm a front guy. I'm out there, and I'm busy.
You're like the trailblazer.
I'm shaking the hands and pounding the pavement.
You're the baby kisser in the back.
But in 3 days, I had 3 distributors that wanted the movie. One of them, we didn't end up going with any of these 3, but one of them said, "Look, man, just on the trailer that I showed him, said I'll sell the hell out of this."
Right.
And these are the types of films that really have a
horror, alien, sci-fi films.
Yeah,
that's what's involved.
Yeah, they're really coming back now. For a long time, people were like, investors were a little down on horror. I don't want to put the money out for a horror movie, but the sci-fi and
China is a big market for that. They just eat those horror, sci-fi horror movies up. Man, they just eat them up like mad. Yeah, it's amazing.
But I'm looking forward to seeing this out there, and it's some
cool.
limited.
So sometime in May.
Yeah, we're gonna have the
Summer
premiere.
release.
It's coming out in some limited theater release,
Right.
and of course everywhere else
Yeah.
that it could possibly be released.
Very nice. Very
And,
cool.
I'm sorry I can't tell you who the distributor is right now, but yeah, it's going to be out there for everyone to see.
Right. Yeah. So not only does he not pay me $20, he doesn't even put me in one of his movies. I can't even get $20 worth of work from the guy.
Oh my gosh.
I tell you, man, this is like horrible.
Look at
Right?
the tear coming out of my eye right
Are
now.
you crying? You
Yeah.
feel my pain?
I do. I
You
feel
feel. Are we connected here? You feel my heartbeat.
Oh.
Right.
Well, we'll get something for you.
You got a crazy thing coming up that blew my friggin' mind. It was on Howard Stern. They reported about it. You know, he's got an audience of 20 million a day.
Yes.
You know, not that we got good numbers, but that guy's got numbers 20 million a day. You know, and it's something to do with some guy that's got big hands or something. Tell me about. I saw the little the breaking of the news on that you sent me, and I said, who is this guy?
Well, let me just fill in the blanks on that one. This film I've actually had for a long time. 5 years ago, I was going to make this.
Right.
And I had my investor in play. He put the money in an escrow account. He had me make offers to Ray Liotta. He had me make an offer to Andy Garcia.
Wow.
The money wasn't enough for them.
No,
but you know, I'm kind of glad that they turned it down because he ended up passing away. And you know, if
the investor,
right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
it was shelved after that. You know, because I had so many other things going on, and then and then I got into the stand up, and then there was other films that came. So I just recently pulled it out of Mothballs. We're rewriting it right now. We're repackaging it. And so I contacted Ham Hands Bill of the Howard Stern Show.
Right.
Now,
that's one of the characters that are on the Howard Stern Show.
Yeah. He was it was on Facebook. You know how the little JPEGs people try to friend you, and I had so many already. And then I just got to look, and I blew it up, and I said, "Damn, that's Ham Hands Bill and Howard Stern."
Right.
So I friended him, and I contacted him. I said, "Hey, have you ever been in a film?" And he said, "No, but everybody here is getting movie parts, you know, because all the people, on the show, they're
20 million viewers a day. Yeah, I guess so."
So I said, "Well, if I write a little part for you, would you try to get Howard to talk about the movie?" And he said, "Yeah." So I wrote a little role for him. Right. 10 days later, and that's what they did. They broke the news on the Howard Stern Show.
And that's what I saw.
And that was the breaking news that he was cast in this film.
How cool is that to hear that?
Yeah, so I pulled it out of Mothballs. I've got a group in New York that wants to take a look at it. Right. And so
what's it about?
It's about the Mexican drug cartel and Kung Fu. Kung Fu and cartel here in L.A.
Well, could it be greater?
There you go.
Got 2,000 miles, 1,700 miles of states that you can sell your film to, right?
Yeah, right.
All the theaters along the border states.
There you go. But
is it a comedy?
No, it's an action. It's an action.
Action movie.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. It's I'm one of the leads in the film.
Right.
And of course we're doing a rewrite on it right now.
You
actually,
need anybody to deliver coffee?
I know, but I'll get you something in there
for $20.
Yeah, for $20.
Okay.
Well, it's a SAG film, so I gotta.
SAG.
Yeah, I know that, but I have to pay you at least.
Well,
what
look,
SAG's gonna dictate.
You know what I say to SAG? Hey, right? Pay me under the table. Thank you very much.
Hey, they just barely sent me my screeners. I'm just now getting my screeners. I get no voting or anything. What's going on?
I didn't pay SAG for a while, so I had to pay like $3,000.
Yeah, well, I'm up on my dues were current and everything. I guess they sent them out to a different address.
Yeah,
but I finally got them.
Yeah. So, how this little part that Howard Ham
Hands Bill.
Ham Hands Bill. He's
I can tell you how he got that name.
Ham Hands Bill. That's actually a great name, Ham Hands Bill. But if he isn't he we have to use the politically correct word here. Isn't he disabled?
He's handicapped. He's in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just making sure I know the right character. Yeah. So he's
right.
So is he going to be a a karate guy? Or
No. He's just going to roll alongside the main cartel boss, because he's never been in a film.
Right.
But look, to get the publicity, the Howard Stern show, I could never afford that kind of publicity.
No.
And then after the film's finished, I think we're going to get to do a studio appearance where I'll have to take a couple hot babes in with me.
Well, you're going to have to take some hot babes.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. But they will get a studio. But how Ham Hands got that name is they had a contest to write a song about Robin Quivers, Howard's partner.
Right.
This must have been 15 years ago.
Right.
And then he wrote this song. He started, Robin, this is your daddy. And I want to see you in the shower. And
typical thing.
He's coming up. And he said, "I'm gonna rub some Vaseline on you. My hands smell like ham." So after he said that,
wait a minute. That sounds like Dan the Man. Dan the Man. That's right.
So, but then after he said, "My hands smell like ham," that's all Howard Stern needed to hear.
Yeah.
His name was Ham Hands Bill from that day on. And he was the winner of that contest, by the way. And that's how he made his mark on the Howard Stern show.
This crazy business is so interconnected.
Yes, it is. It is. Actually, Howard spoke about the film twice. I have another clip I didn't send you.
Right.
But it's more recent that he spoke about the film. But now's the time I want to get it made. And
you like producing?
I do. I love producing.
It seems like you like to make the deal and close the deal. You have that personality.
I love all
energy.
the above. Yeah. Just give me the whole package and let me run with it.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy it. I enjoy every aspect of it.
Any guy who rides a Harley and goes down in the street, man, is a friend of mine, pal. This is a crazy story, man. He's got this cool Harley, and he's like a Harley dude. I have a 38 Knucklehead.
Wow.
Fully dressed out, original 38.
Wow.
It was my father's. He's 86 years old, and we it's a museum piece, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I just drive it around the block because I can't afford to get it hit.
Yeah, for sure.
It took us years before the internet to find the parts. Original parts all around
Everything's
the world.
original on it?
Everything's
Oh,
original.
my.
Everything is original.
Yeah,
There's not one machined part. So it's all for me to get a bolt for the Springer front end.
Mm-hmm.
It took me like almost a year. I finally found this was before the internet. I finally found it in England. You put a little classified ad in all the biker magazines in the back looking for parts for 38 Knucklehead. After a year, I finally found this one little bolt in the top of the Springer, and I could have had it machined, but it wouldn't have been original.
I mean, it's different when you're striving to rebuild a bike or a car, and you want to make it all original.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no compromise.
No,
it is either it is or it is not.
And the ones that pay attention to that are the superstars, the professionals, the experts in that arena.
Right.
They can look at that bolt. It can be expertly machined absolutely to the specs of 1938. And nobody would know. But they'll look at that bolt and they'll know.
They'll know.
They'll know.
Yeah.
That was machined. Even if you round off the edges like it was, that was machined. And God, they'll pick it. They'll find that wire. They'll find that bolt.
Sure.
These cats that know how to do that. So it took us 10 years to rebuild that thing. And it originally was, I grew up on the back of it. It originally was a 12-inch overstock sitting on a 47 frame, 47 pan head frame, 12-inch overstock spool front end, suicide clutch with a jockey shift and fat bob tanks on it. And pullback bars, and I grew up on the back of that bike, and
so your dad used to ride it around, and then you were always on the.
I was always on the back
cruising with him,
in the '60s, and
Isn't
when
that
I was a little kid, and there's a funny story there. And when one day I'm 16, I'm learning how to ride the bike, and my mother comes home from grocery shopping. My dad's in the front yard. Where's Jesse? And he's riding the bike around the neighborhood. No cars, riding the bike around, getting used to riding the bike. And Mom said, okay. So she goes in the house, and I come home. I told her what I did. She goes, oh, gives me a hug and a kiss. That's great. Yeah, because she rode the bike too. And I said, right. And then I don't know how long after that, but a few months after that, maybe 6, 8 months after that, one day I come home from school and my dad has the bike completely apart in the boxes.
Wow.
And I said, "What are you doing, Dad?" He goes, "Oh, I'm going to rebuild the engine, and I'm going to do some other work." Oh, okay, all right. Well, the bike sat in boxes until I was in my 30s.
Smart man.
So I asked my mother. My mother passed away when I was 34. So around 30, I asked my mom. I was just talking the story. You know, she wasn't sick yet then, but I was just talking the story. And Grandma T. That's Grandma T.
Got it.
Grandma T said, "Oh, yeah, I know about it." I said, "What?" And she goes, go talk to your dad." So I go to Grandpa T, "Tell me about the story," right? And he says, "Well, remember when you came home, Mom came home when you were 16, you were riding a bike? She gave me 3 choices. She said, sell the bike, my son's not going to ride in the street at LA, right? Get rid of the bike. My son's not going to ride it in LA, or you can put it in pieces in a box for later. My son's not going to ride in the streets of LA."
Wow.
So my dad put it in boxes, pieces later.
I'll be darned.
And in my 30s is when we started putting it back together, through my 30s and early 40s, as a stock. So that's the story.
Wow.
About that, the 38 knucklehead, XL 38 knucklehead. So it's crazy, man. It leaks because they should leak.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
It leaks because it should leak.
Yeah.
If it don't leak, it's not an original bike.
Yeah.
But you got a beautiful Harley, man.
Yeah, I love mine. I was so devastated when the knucklehead, no pun intended, but there is some there, pulled out in front of me. But no, I was going down Pacific Coast Highway, and so I was going to make a right-hand turn, so I was slowing down. I was only going about 20.
Yeah.
And so, but this guy in the intersection, he sees the car slowing down and stopping, so he thinks he could make it, but he doesn't even look for a bike.
Right.
They don't look for bikers.
Never do.
And he just right out in front of me, bang, hit him, and I went sailing. And I'm still dealing with some of the repercussions of that. But
yeah, you know, they don't look for bikers.
They don't.
Don't see them.
Yeah.
Just don't see them. I don't care how noisy you are. I don't care how many lights you got in the front. I don't care. They don't look for them.
Well, the old saying, they say loud pipes save lives.
Right.
But that's
right.
not always true, you know, because, you know, I was...
Well, I think one of the sayings on that is that if you're riding a bike in the street, at some point in time, you're going to make love with the asphalt.
Yeah, it's not a question. The old saying is, it's not a question of if. It's a question of when.
And hopefully not bad.
Yeah. And I've been riding all my life. I rode it when I was 20. I rode to California from Ohio on a motorcycle. You know, and it's just a way of life for me.
You ever been up to the big run up in Kansas?
No. But I went to Sturgis last year.
You went to
Sturgis the year before. Yeah. Yeah. Last year I rode there.
Sturgis is crazy, man.
Oh, it's
Sturgis crazy or what?
I have tons of photos and stories. Oh my God, we had another hour.
Oh yeah.
Oh
really?
my.
Oh man. Guys, if you've never been to Sturgis, man, on the bike run in Sturgis, it is a party from the second you roll in to the second everybody leaves, and it's stuff going on there. The police just kind of stay on the outskirts of town.
12 days, solid, one solid party for 12 days.
Yeah.
And it's not just in the town of Sturgis. No, it's in a 70-mile radius
man, all
from
the KOA
Deadwood.
Parks. All the KOA parks have got bike trailers because the cats that don't drive their bike all the way. But you rode your bike all the way.
I did. I'm not a poser.
Yeah. Oh, man, you were eating some bugs, baby.
Oh, let me tell you, I had some really wicked weather on the second last year. It was 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, 40 to 60, rain and hail, all at the same time.
Bombarded on your bike.
And I'm out in Wyoming. There's no place to hide. There's no overpass.
I have property in Wyoming.
60 miles of open nowhere.
High Plains Drifter, baby.
That's it.
That's what it is there, absolutely. So let's review. So what do you got coming up here that's happening right now? I know you got another show at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, I'll be at the. I was trying to take February off on stand up because I've got the film stuff and some TV stuff going that I needed February. But I'll be at the Comedy Store again in March. They want me to play in March. I haven't accepted a date yet, but I know I'll be there in March. Just look at my Facebook, guys, and I'll post it.
Tell them the Facebook.
It's Mark Hoadley, or you can go to my Instagram at Mark Hoadley Beach Mantis.
Okay.
And I post all my shows. If they say that they're coming to see Mark Hoadley, generally I'll buy you a ticket.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
But will you give me $20?
Well, I'm still pondering that.
God, I'm really trying with this guy. I'm going to get a praying mantis to my kidneys there, shot to my kidneys.
You did give me a bottle of water, so that was pretty nice.
But I did keep him 45 minutes out in the parking lot, so I don't know about that, right? Absolutely. But what else is coming up as we end the show?
So we're rewriting Mark of the Cobra. I got my investors in New York that are really anxious to take a look at it. I have another. It's a horror movie that I'm working with someone on. I probably am not at liberty to say the name of it, but it's. I just went out and met with some money people over the weekend, last weekend, and I would like to see if my sources could do. Put up the budget on this one because, I want to do the lead on this particular one. And it's, the director of this one. It's just about a big rat.
Yeah,
I like heard that one.
Absolutely.
But it's a horror genre. So that, Mark of the Cobra, and more stand-up and more
Facebook
movies.
page again.
Facebook is Mark Hoadley, Hoadley. Redondo Beach, Mark Hoadley. Also Instagram, Mark Hoadley Beach Mantis.
Hey, check him out at the Comedy Store coming up here real soon. Go on his websites and check it out. Funny guy in stage. He gets more than 3 minutes now, let me tell you. And check him out in the movies. Check him out in his producing. The guy's blowing up this last couple of years. Hey, you're going to be blowing up in the next couple of years. I'm going to sell you a mansion in Playa del Rey, man.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to do. The Jesse T Show. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya!
All right.
I want my $20.
There you go.
I'll take $20 at anything.